We are integrating cross-curricular instruction. And what cross-curricular instruction is, it integrates content and skills from multiple content areas. What this does, it promotes higher thinking and also collaboration with their peers and their classmates. What we're doing is we started with language arts, and our inquiry project for Unit 3 for 4th grade is what defines the Atlantic states. However, we're also going to be integrating social studies. In social studies, we're talking about the regions of the United States, and we happen to be doing the Northeast region and the Southeast region, which is part of the Atlantic states. We're going to be doing Play-Doh, an art project, and we had the parents of our class make the Play-Doh at home, and they brought it in, so the kids are going to be molding their state in art class. Also, they're going to be painting the boards and painting their Play-Doh states. Finally, in technology, the students are going to be researching their state, obviously, and finding facts on the state. But they're also, with Mr. Dyer in a tech lab, they're going to be doing a video presentation of their state once we are all completed with the project.
This is what the board looks like before we have started, and our state is Massachusetts. At this point, our inquiry groups have identified the state, conducted most of the research, and created an outline of our state. After a letter home from Mr. Haller, our parents made
15 matches
of Play-Doh to create a clay mold of our state. Time to head to the art room.
Feels like mashed potatoes.
I know. We're trying to copy. We're trying to keep Appalachian Mountains up there.
Okay.
We're trying to keep it in the color line.
We've been watching and looking through the elevation, like halfway, like a quarter of the state. So that's what me and Trevor are trying to do.
Yeah, look, it looks like this is our door.
Right now we're working on the outsides and working our way in. Right now we're adding a second layer so then you can't see all the paint. And we're gonna add the mountains here last. And just gonna work our way up.
All right.
It's hard to stay around the shape.
So which state is this, Lauren?
Maine.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Which is the main state you're doing?
Maine. We're shaping Maine.
What's the main one that you're doing?
Maine.
That's what I was just asking you.
The state is Maine.
Oh. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Maine. We're working on Florida, and we're making the Play-Doh. We're making our clay molding and outlining it with what we drew yesterday.
What's the trickiest part about Florida, making Florida?
Probably all the lakes and rivers.
Would you like to live in Florida?
Yeah.
We're starting to round our mountain. So we're done with the Appalachian, like the brown. Now we're working on the red. That's like the lower, but pretty high. Like here's the red.
Cape Cod is challenging because there's a curve.
Okay.
And it's fun because we get to make mountains and use Play-Doh.
Hello, Florida.
He was doing these. You're doing like the bottom. We haven't even finished the rest of the application. That's about right. We're trying not to fight it. That's doing really good for us right now.
Trying not to fight. Well, yeah, that does help, doesn't it? To work together.
This is probably our first time not fighting.
This is your first time ever not fighting?
Probably arguing.
I'm glad I captured it on film. Historic moment. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank you very much. 66,000. Maine state bird is a black-capped chickadee. Their state tree is a white pine. State flower is a white pine cone and tassel. Their state animal is a moose. Maine was established 1820, the 23rd state. Their nickname is the Pine Tree State. In 1524, Giovanni da Verrazzano was possibly the first European to explore the coast of Maine. In 1604, the first European settlement in Maine is on an island in the St. Croix River. In 1820, Maine became the 23rd state through the Missouri Compromise.
In winter, it is 22 degrees. In summer, it is about 55 to 75 degrees. In spring, it is 33 to 51 degrees. In fall, it is 36 to 55 degrees. Maine is about as big as all the other New England states combined.
There are no pro sports teams in Maine. Huh, what happened to those? Famous people in Maine are Dakota Dix, businessman, John Ford, director, Stephen King, author, and Liv Tyler, actress.
Because of Maine's many forests, wood products such as toothpicks, lumber, and wood has been a big part of Maine's economy. Potatoes are one of Maine's most important natural resources. Tourism is a central part of Maine's economy.
Travel to Maine to enjoy the activities offered by wilderness areas such as Exeter State Park, White Mountain Natural Forest, and the Allagash Wilderness Waterway. Sparkling lakes, ooh, rushing rivers, dense forests, towering mountains, and beautiful stretches of coastline all serve to make the state a natural paradise for vacationers.
Massachusetts facts. Massachusetts was the 6th state. Nickname, the Bay State. Capital, Boston. Flower, Mayflower. Population, about 6,175,169 people. Area, 10,555 square miles. Tree, American elm. Fish, cod. Motto, by the sword we seek. Massachusetts history. Was Massachusetts the site of the British colony in America? The answer is yes, it was, because we learned so much about the Pilgrims and their first Thanksgiving, but Plymouth, where the Pilgrims landed, was actually the second permanent British colony in America. Where was Paul Revere going on his famous midnight ride? On April 18, 1775, the night before the first battles of the American Revolution, Paul Revere left Boston on horseback for Lexington and Concord. It's a good thing he wasn't the only rider carrying the message that the British were coming. Thank God for that. Why is Massachusetts the best place for a little woman to eat green eggs and ham? Because both Lucia May Alcott, author of Little Women, and Dr. Seuss were born here. Other famous authors include Emily Dickinson, Ralph Waldo Emerson, and Edgar Allan Poe.
Massachusetts sports teams: Boston Bruins NHL hockey, Boston Celtics NBA basketball, Boston Red Sox MLB baseball, New England Revolution MLS soccer, New England Patriots NFL football.
Massachusetts is the 7th smallest state in the United States with a total area of 10,555 square miles. Thousands of years ago, glaciers left behind boulder stones and hundreds of lakes covering the state. The east has smaller hills called drumlins, which were also left over from glacier swamps, ponds, and rivers, or scattered around the small hills. The most famous drumlin is Bunker Hill, where one of the first battles of the American Revolution took place. The central part of Massachusetts, where most of the farming occurs, is a plateau. The mountains of western Massachusetts are heavily forested.
Famous people: John Adams, 2nd U.S. President; John Quincy Adams, the 6th U.S. President; Susan B. Anthony, Civil Rights Leader; Matt Damon, actor; Benjamin Franklin, inventor; Dr. Seuss, children's book author; John F. Kennedy, 35th U.S. President; Barbara Walters, TV news reporter.
resources and economy in Massachusetts. There are thousands of computers and electronic companies in Massachusetts. Many of these high-tech companies in Massachusetts are concentrated in and around Boston. Boston is an important Atlantic trading port. Boston usually trades sugar, salt, cars, and petroleum.
Here's some facts about Florida. Florida's Marshals NBL is a baseball team. Florida Panthers NFL is a hockey team. David Levy Lee was one of the first U.S. senators. It became a state March 3rd, 1845. American Everglades, the largest subtropical wilderness in the United States. Everglades National Park protects an unbearable landscape that provides important habitat, numerous rare and endangered species like the manatee, American crocodile, and the elf-side Florida panther. An international treasure as well, a World Heritage Site. International important protects areas. Time for some volleyball.
With Florida's miles of beaches, there is thick forests that provide homes to many different animals. Florida has one of the longest coastlines in the country. Florida is called the Orange State because it produces millions of oranges every year. It also has muddy swamps in the Everglades.
Hello, I'm Lauren. I'm gonna talk to you about the highest points in Florida. The highest point in Florida is Britton Hill. In Lakewood Park, and the town is Walton. The lowest point in Florida is the sea level, where Florida meets the Atlantic Ocean. The land area of Florida is 53,997 square miles. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is a large natural harbor along the Gulf of Mexico and west of coast of Florida. Tampa Bay also has sports teams named after it. Cape Canaveral. Cape Canaveral is the Spanish Cabo Canaveral. 3. Lake Okeechobee. Okeechobee means big water. The lake is very shallow with a depth of 9 feet. State facts. The flower, orange blossom. Bird, mocking. Song, Swanee River. Motto, in God we trust. Shell, horse skunk. Gem, moonstone. Beverage, orange juice. State nickname, Sunshine State. Population, 19,317,368 people. 3. Cabbage Palmetto. Capital city, Tuskegee. The animal is the Florida panther. Walt Disney World in 1971, the Magic Kingdom opened its door. Disney's Hollywood Studios theme park in the world. The resort covers 20,000 acres. Disney World remains most popular theme park in the world. They get more than 16 million visitors every year.
Well, the British immediately divided Florida into 2 distinct colonies, with the Apalachicola River as the boundary. The first people reached Florida at least 12,000 years ago. The Great Depression in Florida. Florida's economy bubble bursted in 1926 when money and credit ran out and banks and advisors brutally stopped trusting paper millionaires. World War II and post-war boom. World War II spurly economy developed in Florida because of its year-round mild climate. The state became a major training center for soldiers, sailors, and pilots of the United States and its alliances.
North Carolina Sports and Recreation. Sports teams. The Carolina Hurricanes, NHL. The Carolina Panthers, NFL. The
Charlotte Bobcats, NBA. North Carolina's water sports. In North Carolina, there's always a place to make a splash.
Cannonball!
National Geographic named Wrightsville Beach one of the world's 20 best surf towns for its appeal to pros and beginners alike. See the shore from a new perspective. Try scuba diving in the Atlantic Graveyard. Maybe stand on water skis or a board. You can even try whitewater rafting or kayaking.
Wright brothers. The Wright brothers invented the first airplane in 1903. Now it is displayed in a museum. Oliver and Wilbur Wright are the Wright brothers.
North Carolina geography, climate. In winter and summer, temperatures hover around 80 degrees. The mountains in the west have higher snowfalls in the winter. Geography. North Carolina is the 20th largest state with 53,821 square miles. In the east is the Outer Banks, a thin string of Iceland that runs along the coast.
North Carolina's history. Slavery became a hot issue since most farmers in North Carolina relied on slave labor to plant and harvest their crops. The state had many slaves, about 1/3 of the state's total population, but North Carolinians, unlike several other southbound slave-owning states, did not think that the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860 would stop slavery.
Famous People in New York by Savannah D. Eleanor Roosevelt, First Lady and Ambassador. Woody Allen, Award-winning Director. Theodore Roosevelt, 26th President. Herman Melville, author of Moby Dick. Rosie O'Donnell, a comedian and actress. John Rockefeller, an industrialist and founder of Standard Oil Company. Franklin Roosevelt, 32nd President. Lucille Ball plays as Lucy in I Love Lucy. There are many more famous people in New York, and it has a population of 71.2% whites.
That's really interesting.
Hey, this is my part.
White, 71.2%. Hispanic or Latino, 18.2%. Black or African American, 17.5%. Asian, 8.0%. Mixed race, 2.2%. Indian and Alaskan Native, 1.0%. Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islander, 0.1%. The state animal is a beaver. Early settlers bought beaver skins from Native Americans and sold them aboard to make clothes and hats. The state bird is a bluebird. The state flower is a rose. The state tree is a sugar maple.
Facts and history on the eastern bluebird. Eastern bluebird is red-breasted. It is one of the first birds to fly home after spending a warm winter down south. New York temperatures. Spring, 56 to 37 degrees. Summer, 79 to 60 degrees. Fall, 60 to 43 degrees. Winter, 35 to 21 degrees.
New York has inspired many athletes who then inspire the nation and the world. The Yankees are popular. New York has many fans. New York's hockey teams are the Rangers and the Islanders.
Large glaciers melted, leaving more than 4,000 lakes and rivers, as well as long, skinny ridges of the earth called drumlins throughout much of present-day New York. There is good farmland in the state's 54,475 square miles. 141,090 square kilometers. Long Island and Staten Island are a part of the coastal plain, and in some areas only oaks and pines can grow. The Adirondack Mountains have some of the highest peaks in the eastern United States. Tourism is very important to New York's economy. Millions of people come to New York every year to see Niagara Falls and also the mountains. Daily farmers produce millions of gallons of milk each week, making New York a top U.S. dairy state. You might not have heard of Wallace stones. It is used to make tiles and materials to clean teeth. The only place in the United States to mine it is in Willisboro.
Thanks for watching. We hope you learned something about the Atlantic States.